we're in this moment right now, NATO, where Democrats are starting to wake up that like people don't want them to just roll over in the face of a massive coup orchestrated by Doggy and Elon, right? So, you know, a week ago, you had Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who was confirmed by 15 Democratic senators, including Cory Booker, Kirsten Gillibrand, Alyssa Slotkin, and others. Bessent got in there and immediately handed the Treasury over to Doggy, and the rest is history. And now they did manage to try to delay the vote on Russell Vought, who's an architect of Project 2025, but they ultimately didn't do much more than like speak a little bit, and then there was no like denying quorum. Not that that would have stopped Republicans necessarily, but basically they're like, what can we do? We are only elected officials, and that is actually what Hakeem Jeffries, the ostensible leader of congressional Democrats, effectively said during a press conference. Take a look.
I'm trying to figure out what leverage we actually have. What leverage do we have? They control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. It's their government. What leverage do we have?
Now, I know that was difficult to understand that because it wasn't in haiku form or it wasn't in his normal poem, but they might have edited out the rhyming part of it. NATO, what leverage do they have? What are they supposed to do?
We're just in a 2017, 2015 Congress.
Right. And like the majorities in Congress are not that high. So what are you doing? It's not that crazy to pick off some Republicans. The problem is that the Trump administration is not even using Congress to do any of this stuff. It is all executive order and also all illegal because Congress is the only one that has the ability to say freeze federal funds and grants and all this, student loans, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Jeffries also this week went to Silicon Valley to basically try to make amends with some of these techies, afraid that they've all gone Trump on him and Democrats, and they still want that money. Now, a Democratic donor advisor said, I think the most unspeakable thing. He said, quote, "There's a significant fear that these tech folks who've been with us for a long time will say, okay, we're going with the other guys. These donors are also pissed watching former and current colleagues have unlimited, unchecked power and getting richer off of this, and they're not." Oh, they sad. Why come they get power? I don't have no power. Even though all of the tax breaks that they will be passing will benefit me. And so that is the level of seriousness that we're talking about. What leverage do we have? We just want to go serve our donors and make sure that we can secure their bag so that we can also do their bidding, but better.
Right. So I joined the Indivisible and the Working Families Party did this big call recently.
Yes, I was on it.
Along with 50,000 of our closest friends.
Yes.
And it was for sure things are bad. And are going to get worse, and we're under attack and on the defense all over. And what I've been reflecting on is a lot like in in 2017 there was the Women's March, and so there was this big march and people were all excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
In December of 2016 we didn't know that the Women's March was about to happen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that it was going to be as big as it was. Like December of 2016, I delivered a 7-foot styrofoam spine to Nancy Pelosi's office because we were worried about the Democrats not having a backbone. And
now you need to give her a hip.
Yeah, we got in the news, and I'm told that her office still hates me because of that gag. So I've seen some things that that there's like a huge surge in the phone people calling their senators.
Mm-hmm.
And you're starting to see some Democrats, Brian Schatz, and from Hawaii and
but it's not actually happening. I mean, I just want to say
starting to speak out more,
sure.
and like to be sure, they're not exercising all the levers of power to block things. And I'm like,
and all the rules in the Senate that there are, you can just like drum up and just be like, oh, sorry, according to your rule book, blah, 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 and then like everyone has to stand on one leg and recite the Pledge of Allegiance backwards.
Yeah, I mean, and certainly, like, if nothing else, even if they couldn't, even the like articulating a coherent alternative vision and campaigning around it, and like going after, like drawing blood in the polls, to move public opinion. Like Trump is still affected by public opinion, to be sure.
I mean, you've got Dr. Phil out on these ICE raids, and I'm like, that's at once obviously hilarious and disgusting. But I would like to see Democrats on, defending people from ICE raids, talking to immigrants, humanizing them. Like that's something they can do. They can win these messaging campaigns in addition to trying to block what the right is doing. I will say
there is like an argument that I've heard starting to circulate about some specific leverage that the House Democrats have on the debt ceiling, which is the debt ceiling. There needs to be a vote in March to increase the debt ceiling, and Trump wants it. Trump doesn't want to preside over shutting down the government, and as we have seen, Speaker Johnson can't do that kind of thing without Democratic votes.
Right.
And so there's a conversation about like what concessions could Democrats demand that are substantive, like shut down Doge and Dogway and get Musk out of the White House. If they want to,
yeah, Musk has got to be gone. I think that's the demand: is Musk is gone. Musk is out of here. And apparently he can only be like a special government employee for 130 days, which is also wild because the damage you can do and has already been done in 130 days is just insane. I love Indivisible and I'm not knocking them. I really appreciate all the work they do. It's just really funny. I rolled up very late to one of the demos and like they wrapped in 30 minutes and everyone went home. And then like I was on like this like text chain and one woman was like, sorry, I couldn't make it. Oh, silly sourdough. And I was like, this woman didn't come because her sourdough, needed tending to. And I'm just like, NATO, we're so not ready. We're so not ready for this. And it's going to take a lot more.
Have you ever made sourdough?
I know I have not. I've made a baby.
Yeah. Sourdough is like a baby that's made of mold.
Okay, before I let you go, really, really quick, Jerry Connolly also, again, head of the Oversight Committee, which could have been AOC, had this to say. He really thinks he's crushing it. And this is my favorite when, like, certain people, usually older people, just like Schumer going like, we will win. Like when people think they're crushing it, but they're very much not. Here's Connolly saying there's no mandate, or there is kind of, Trump does have a mandate, just not that mandate.
The public did not give Trump a mandate to dismantle the whole chunks of the federal government. Gave him a mandate to, kick the tires, check the dipstick, and make sure that things are running well and efficiently. In that part, he has a mandate.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have stop buying into the mandate language. He's like, it's just the Jiffy Lube. Doggy is the Jiffy Lube of government. It's just like, you already, even just saying the word mandate, buying into the framework of mandate, which is a right-wing concoction, as a guy who got 49% of the vote, is bullshit. So
I'm sorry. What is the dipstick of government in this metaphor?
I don't know. Just to make sure everything's running. Hey, okay, you go on your way.
A mandate to make sure everything's running. What a weak ass mandate.
Like exactly. That is just being in government, dumbass. Like that is just being the executive. Like, NATO, we're so unprepared. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.